Welcome to Kristen's Canvas. My inspiration for this rock painting comes from the beautiful, fun, inquisitive, and intelligent dolphin. Grab your paintbrushes. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I really hope you enjoy this video. Welcome back, everyone. Today we're starting out with a rock that I made from a mold from the Happy Dotting Company. I did 2 coats of white, and I used a little dauber to kind of even it all out and take care of all the brush strokes that gets in there, so it's nice smooth surface to start on. I used a protractor and no measurements. I just kind of winged it and put a couple circles on there. Now I'm starting out with dark in the middle, and I'm using Martha Stewart dauber, which you don't have to use Martha Stewart. You can get them at the dollar store. Little packs of these for $1, but they really help blend. In order for it to blend properly, though, you do have to make sure any excess paint that you dab off of there, otherwise you're just going to make mud. I learned that the hard way. So I keep a couple of them on hand, and I keep one that's really dry, so when I do the final blending I use the drier one. Now we're using a small flat brush, and as you saw I painted like a light source from the top of the water, and then I hold the brush at an angle and I do the little rays of light that are coming down through the water. I chose, this is Cerilean blue. I chose to paint the rest of the rock at the back of the rock with that. You can choose any color that you want. That just happened to be what I had in the palette, and I thought I would stick more monotone. Now I'm just carefully drawing out, sketching the dolphins, trying to figure out how I want to place them. I did see an embroidered patch with these dolphins on it, and I thought, oh my gosh, that'd make such a beautiful rock painting. I was so excited to get started with this. Now what I'm going to do is use white and grays as a base coat. Whenever you're painting, it doesn't matter what really medium you're painting in, think of it as in layers, and let me tell you, the first layer always looks the worst. You just want to block that all in. The grays are pretty opaque. If I was using brighter colors like reds, I would have done a white base coat and then the red on top of that. I'm trying to make the dolphin in the back a little bit darker, because dark always pushes things back and gives depth, and the light brings things forward. I'm just blocking in the lights and the darks. That's all I'm thinking about right now, is where would the lights and the darks be? Where would that light fall? And again, layer after layer. That's how paintings come to life. And now I am just using an array of different acrylic paints. You don't have to use the brands I use or the colors I use. You can find them at the dollar store. You can use those brands if you're just wanting to do a project, or if you want to do this more often. You can also get the enamels. Now the enamels, those you can actually paint on glass with. But it doesn't matter. Any acrylic paints will do. And you can use any colors that you want. You don't have to do what I do. Now I'm just trying to kind of map out where the lighter colors are going to go, where the light's coming down. And then when I go to blend it, I use a drier brush. Yep, and we all make mistakes. I made plenty in this video, but you know, if you make a mistake, don't worry about it. You can always paint over it. It's no big deal. Just keep going. I'm constantly tweaking things. Now I'm going to use a little bit of safflower yellow and pure orange, and I'm going to kind of mix those together a little bit. I want to give the effect that is some sunshine rays are coming down through the water. I'm using a drier brush to apply it, just kind of blending it all together. Adding a little bit more white. And then for the rays, I just flip the brush around and use it in up and down to make those little rays. Now, what I'm going to do is add a little bit of a real dry brush of that yellow and hitting the highlights with that. And now these are the little reflections of the light coming down through. I always try to make sure that I add different tones of color that are in the background to my piece, because not all highlights are just white, and not all shadows are dark or black. They're going to reflect what's around them. So I've added little bits of very light blue and then the yellow. So they look like they blend into their surroundings. We don't want them to look like a sticker that was just stuck on the blue. Now I'm adding a little ripples of water around the outside. I'm blocking it in first with white so that my blue stands out really well. Also covers up some of my mistakes that I made outside my little circle there. Get like a swirl of water. I love dolphins. They seem to be like such peaceful animals. Very smart and intelligent. I love to watch them swim. This guy needed some teeth. Now what I'm doing, this is called a Macrat's. It's a nail for fingernail polish art. I have found that that is my best liner brush right there, and it's very inexpensive. It came with a set of 3 with different lengths. I used the longest one to get the finest lines. You can also use disposable eyeliner brushes. You can get a pack of 100 for like $4 on Amazon. Those work well too, but I've just I like the feel of this one in my hand, and I usually get the best results with it. And I think all 3 of those brushes were only like maybe $9, $8.95, something like that. But I'm really enjoying them. And as you can see, you see all my errors in there. I'm not too worried because I can always go back after it dries, paint over it, and readjust. So don't let that get you down. We all make mistakes. And nothing's ever perfect. Well, the lighting has changed. I took a break and now I'm back this evening to finish up. Getting ready to finish lining this guy. I made a few errors, but don't ever worry. It's just as easy as a little dab of paint. Picks it right up. I hope you all are enjoying some of these rock paintings. I have been having so much fun with them. It's been great. Take my mind off a lot of things. Hopefully I'm not making you dizzy. It looks like I'm left-handed here, but actually I'm right-handed. I have to film this upside down. In order to get a good camera angle, then I have to flip it when I edit it. So when you see the finished piece, it's going to look like it's going the other way, but that's why. I'm just outlining his little fins. He looks like such a happy guy. If there's anything that you would like to see as a tutorial, a subject, or a possible project, or a medium, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know what you're thinking and what you guys would like to learn. Putting the little highlight in the eyes. And as you can see, I kind of worked from like a medium shades, and as I layered, then I start going darker, and then after I go darker, then I start adding some highlights in. That's kind of how I gauge my values. I was not happy with the way this little guy's head was shaped. I'm still not happy with it, but just keep going. So here we're just adding a little more of the yellow to come down with a touch of gold. I added a little touch of gold in there. Gotta get those reflections. And I'm imagining those reflections would be a little sparkly. I'll get that head shape right yet. There, I'm going to distinguish these two apart from each other. Straighten that out. I'm constantly tweaking things, and I am terrible. I watch some of these YouTube artists and they work so nice and neat from either left to right or up and down, and I'm just like all over the place. Now I'm taking some dotting tools, and I got these again off Amazon. They're really inexpensive, but you don't need to have dotting tools if you want to use this method. You can use a pen that no longer works, tacks, anything pointy that you could think of, you can use to make dots with. For me, this was just easier than, you can use the end of the tip of your brush if you wanted to, but I just had these and it came in pretty handy for this process. I'm going to make sure there's lots of little bubbles. And one of the tricks to making the bubbles, you don't want them all the same size. You need to kind of, some of them need to touch each other, some of them get smaller as they go up or away. I was having fun doing the dotting. Actually, it's pretty relaxing. Painting can be a very relaxing thing to do. You just can't worry too much about perfection. Now I'm going to use some spun gold, and I'm going to run that a little bit around on the sunshine. Add it here and there. Can't have enough sparkle, you know. Add some more of the gold to the top and the highlights. Just want that water to glisten. Looks like the light is glistening down through the water onto our little dolphin friends. I decided I needed to outline the water some. It just wasn't going to stand out enough for how I want to do this. I have a surprise coming up on what I want to do around that circle border. Something I've never done before. So this is my first time trying. Just lining out the water, trying to make it look like it's kind of twisting and flowing. I wasn't sure how I was going to finish this, and then I thought, oh, I can just give it a little swirl. Give it a little swirl. I didn't want it just going a line to nowhere. There we go. Now I'm just kind of outlining some of these little circles. I felt like, well, they got lost. So I thought, yep, they need a little definition. This is not like going for 100% realism, for sure. This is just a fun project. I used to paint Christmas ornaments, thousands and thousands of Christmas ornaments, and I would go to craft shows, and this is the kind of stuff I would paint on them, and then I'd personalize the back of them. I needed something different than a Christmas bulb to paint on. I think I got bored. Then I found rocks. A little easier, they're a little flatter, so that helps. Still going around the little water bubbles. I've never done a video this long before, so this is a new challenge for me. I'm learning on how much speed to edit these videos at, and hopefully this one isn't long and boring. I'm hoping you're able to learn something from it. If you would like to paint these little dolphins, you can always pause and stop and do this step by step. I know there's so many great artists out there. I'm just blown away by all the artwork that I see out on YouTube. It comes through my Facebook feed. I could sit and look at people's art forever. I love it. I love all these creative people. And you know, there's no such thing as you can't do it. You can do it. It just takes time and patience, and a little bit of learning and practicing. Just kind of trying to define this water a little better. There. Now I'm taking a very dry brush and I'm brushing in some highlights to really get these guys to stand out. That's usually one of the last things that I do in a painting, is go through and just hit the highlights. But I wanted these to look kind of wet and smooth, so it's a very dry brush. See that one? It's a little, it'll work, but there's a little bit too much paint there. You could just dab it off on like a paper towel or something. And now I'm adding a little bit of a very light blue because I don't want to lose the colors that are in the background. I want them to look like they're part of that. Sometimes I'm just never happy with things. Once I got the highlights on, I realized, I want the mama dolphin to look like she's definitely behind the baby dolphin. So I decided to take that up a few shades for darkness. So I'm filling that out, because remember, darks push things away and they give depth. and the light brings things forward. So I felt that the Mama Dolphin needed to be in the shadow a little bit more. Now I'm taking white, bright white, and I'm just kind of highlighting some of these rays. Again, with my little nail liner brush. I love that thing. Makes life easy. Now I'm adding the very smooth, shiny highlights. This is as we get towards the very end. And I do use a wet brush with this. See, I'm just kind of giving the real highlights there. And that just kind of brings it to life. It's one of my favorite parts. I'm going back in and just re-adding some more of these reflections that kind of got lost in all my shading. Now all you have to do is make little squigglies that kind of crisscross. I kind of think of them as lightning bolts. Like I'm trying to do little lightning bolts for the reflection of that water. Wherever I think they would see that reflection, a little bit on the fins. Just little squigglies. I'm getting picky with my lines. Sorry guys, I have that issue. Now I'm using the spun gold and I'm just outlining the bottom of the circle, the outer circle. Just kind of gently going around with that. Now, and for some reason I think my battery died. I didn't get this part in there, but I used, it's a nail glue, a UV light nail glue, and these are nail foils. And I put them on the rock. I'm so excited to try this. It is so pretty and so blingy. First time I ever did it, took me a few times to figure out how to get the foil to release onto the rock, but I think this will do for a first time try. I went back over with the light blue and I just, in the black lining on the water, to kind of redefine that where I messed it up with the foils. It's so pretty. I love bling, you guys. I'm addicted. Sometimes I just don't know when to stop. Now I'm adding more of the water dots, so it looks like it's over the foil. And this is just a clear, sparkly glitter. Can't have enough glitter. Never have enough bling for me. And now I'm going back over the foil line. This is the finished product. Oh, so pretty. And I did put resin on this, and I put some little diamonds on the water bubbles, if I could talk. Put those on there, and out in the sun, oh my goodness, you guys, this thing shines. I don't even think that the camera can do it justice. It is just so deep and shiny and blingy. I don't know if you can see the little diamonds on there. And I decided while I was on the porch, I think I'm going to take it out into the sun and see if it really shows how it glimmers and shines. This was so much fun to make and so relaxing just to sit and play. I hope you've enjoyed this. I would love to see some of your rock paintings. Hit me up over on Facebook and send me some of your paintings. I would love to see them. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll have another video coming up soon. Bye, guys.